Hey everyone, Ryan from Ebike, and in this video I'm going to talk about selling my Ariel Rider XClass. Now, I first reviewed the XClass last year. It launched in early 2020 and I was able to review one of the earlier XClass bikes, and then this year I was able to review the Ariel Rider D-Class, both of which you can see behind me. But now I have to pick which one I'm going to keep, and the decision has been made. My wife told me I could only keep one due to garage space, and of course I'm always reviewing new electric bikes, so I need to have space for new electric bikes that I'm reviewing. So in this video I thought I would compare the two bikes, give you a little bit more of my thoughts on each bike, and I should caveat this with it's not because the XClass is a bad bike. That's the reason for selling it. I absolutely love both of these bikes for different reasons, which I'll get into. And of course, if you are looking at purchasing an Ariel Rider electric bike, please consider using the link in the description, as it helps me make videos like this one, helps me to review more of the electric bikes offered by Ariel Rider. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit more in detail about both of these electric bikes. And I just spent a few minutes on the Ariel Rider website. I wanted to call out some of the changes that have been made to the XClass, and of course compare the bike to the D-Class. So the first thing I want to call out is the look of the bike. Now, I believe this would be considered a Gen 1 XClass, and then soon after they launched the bike, they actually changed the color to the swing arm, and now the bike comes with the short seat, and this long seat is now optional. Now, if it were me shopping for the XClass, I would definitely consider that long seat. My wife and I have ridden the XClass together, we've ridden the D-Class together, and it's really nice to have that long seat. Of course, if you're just going to ride it by yourself, that short seat is probably just fine, but that's something that they changed on some of the more recent models. I do believe they also went to a twist grip throttle compared to the thumb throttle, so that's something that has changed. And I believe they also moved the kickstand more towards the rear so the pedals won't come in contact with it. And if you're curious about some of these options that you see around this bike, some of the accessories, definitely check out my XClass accessories video. I also have a blog post on my website, Ebike where I call some of these things out if you're interested in purchasing them. And besides that, I don't think a whole lot else changed with the XClass. I know the company sent out replacement forks to those that had this version of the XClass, also a different front headlight, but I'm sure they have everything sorted out now that we are well into them stocking this bike. It's been over a year. One of the things that I really wanted to get across about this XClass while I am selling it, I think the Ariel Rider XClass still offers the best value of any moped style electric bike on the market when you consider the speed and acceleration of this bike. Now, if you're looking for something a little less powerful, I think there could be something said for the Rad Runner being a great value, but it looks completely different than this bike. This bike looks way more like a moped. Obviously, no adjustability on the seat, but the XClass is now priced at $15.99. I know last year it was $14.99, and so with all the increases in shipping and bike components and tariffs, it's only gone up $100, which I don't think is bad, and it still is a tremendous value. So that's one thing that I really want you to take away if you're looking at the Ariel Rider XClass. If you find something else comparable to this that you're looking at, let me know in the comments. I would love to take a closer look. But from what I found, one of the reasons that I wanted to review the Ariel Rider bikes is the value. And I also think the company does a great job with customer service. We've really been enjoying these bikes. So now I want to compare the XClass versus the D-Class based off of our experience riding the XClass a lot last year, riding the D-Class over the last couple of months or so. Now the first point is obviously price. The XClass, as I mentioned, $15.99. The D-Class is priced at $23.99, and they do have a 52-volt version of the XClass priced at $20.99. So definitely a step up, and then from there obviously you have the D-Class, and then if you really want to get crazy you can check out the Grizzly. So first off, let's talk about some of the obvious points. You can see the front tires next to each other. The X-Class comes with more street tires, and you can see that the D-Class comes with these little bit knobby tires, definitely a little bit more capable of off-road. Now we do ride our D-Class or the X-Class mostly on the road, so I actually do like the tires on the XClass, but personal preference depends on what you're going to use the bike for. The D-Class just offers a little bit more versatility if you want to take it off-road. There's nothing wrong with these tires on the road, but something worth mentioning. You can see that both bikes use an inverted fork, and if they're not the exact same, they seem very similar. Same amount of travel in my experience. They seem to loosen up a little bit more over time as you ride it. And both of these bikes have a motorcycle style front light, really like that. Can't tell a huge difference between them. Maybe there is if I put them side to side. But I think one of the biggest considerations comparing the D-Class to the X-Class is going to be those handlebars. The D-Class just offers a much more upright riding position, and you can adjust these a little bit up and down. And the X-Class is a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more hunched over. So something to consider if you want more of a motorcycle experience. I guess you might lean towards the X-Class. And they do have some adjustability here with this adjustable stem, so you can raise those handlebars up a little bit. And I've seen other people put different handlebars, different stems to make the riding position even more upright. And it's worth mentioning that the Ariel Rider Facebook group is full of lots of great information if you're looking at customizing your bike further. One other thing that I wanted to be sure to call out is not only the battery size. The D-Class has an 18 amp hour battery. The X-Class has a 16 amp hour battery. Both pretty sufficient as far as size goes, but it's important to think about the position of the battery. So the D-Class has the battery nice tucked underneath the seat, and it leaves you a wide variety of options if you wanted to put a frame bag here. And then the X-Class has the battery located in the down tube, and you could probably still hang a bag here, but it just might be a little bit more difficult if you're going to be taking out that battery. And another thing you may have noticed is the X-Class does have both front and rear suspension. I don't find that the rear suspension does a ton. I wouldn't buy it because it has the rear suspension. I know some people have opted to upgrade this, and of course I'm a lighter rider, so I'm probably just not going to feel it quite as much. I'm about 145 pounds or so, but something to think about if you're looking at both of these electric bikes comparing specs. Now both bikes have hydraulic disc brakes, which I really like. I also wanted to talk about the seat on the D-Class compared to the X-Class. My wife and I find that the D-Class is far more comfortable than the more hard seat on the X-Class. Now, if you really want to step up in looks and luxury, there is an upholstery shop. I have it in my X-Class accessories list, and you can get a custom seat for either your D-Class or your X-Class, and from what I've heard, they are really amazing, and you can use discount code Ryan and save $5 if you're looking at purchasing a custom seat. But we find that the D-Class stock seat is plenty comfortable. For us, it just doesn't look as cool as some of those custom designs. But really the two biggest considerations, in my opinion, comparing these two bikes, besides the price, number one is what kind of riding style are you looking for? More upright riding position compared to the more aggressive position. And of course, with the D-Class, you get those dual motors. And that's the main reason that we chose to keep the D-Class. The D-Class gives us far more acceleration. It's far more versatile. We live in Wisconsin. This thing is going to be a blast in the winter with that additional front wheel. And while having both motors does add some additional weight, it is nice that you can flip the switch here at the front of the bike and swap between whatever motor you want. So you're not necessarily going to chew through the battery as fast as the X-Class because you don't always have to run both motors. So if you think the dual motors is going to be beneficial to you, I think the decision is pretty much made. The D-Class is an awesome dual motor electric bike. There's actually not a ton of dual motor electric bikes on the market in really any kind of frame style, let alone a moped style electric bike. And I can't imagine anyone being disappointed with the performance of the D-Class. It's just simply unmatched with those dual 750 watt motors. So I think that pretty much covers it. Both great electric bikes. I don't think you can go wrong either way. X-Class, tremendous value. D-Class, awesome power with the dual motors. And of course, there's other models in between there and above, depending on your needs. I've really been a fan with what Arda and the team at Ariel Rider have done with their electric bikes, offering awesome electric bikes at great prices. Again, if you are looking to purchase one of these electric bikes or any of the other models, please consider using the link in the description. I will also have a link to my XClass accessories list, and I will be doing a video shortly on our D-Class accessories, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe. All right, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go get this bike listed, hopefully sell it, and more electric bike reviews in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.